A lot of the patrons have been asking me to shoot some more Transformer Finance videos, so I had one in the queue, and I was going to kind of put it out there, and I was going to wait a little bit to see like how the price movements were on these three specific items, and well, man, the numbers have been so nuts recently, just in November alone, that I figured I might as well just shoot that one out there. And it's pretty much three items. All of them are more or less 15 years old, and they're all kind of that upper echelon of MSRP investment of $20 to $30 back in the day. They're either like that expensive mega class or cheaper ultra class kind of stuff. So these three items are very fascinating. The numbers are quite nutty on the last one here. And I'll jump into these right away. So the first one we got here is we're seeing some crazy price movement on Transformers Universe Ultra Class Nemesis Prime. For people who aren't aware, the Ultra Class Nemesis Prime was the Universe 1.0 2004 black repaint of Big Convoy from Beast Wars Neo. That was I use the term Bloody Tusks. That's the best way to identify that version, because there's so many Nemesis Primes, and there's Nemesis Primes within different versions of the Universe line, and it gets confusing. So Bloody Tusks, man, oh man, like it's pretty crazy. Like original MSRP $29.99, Ultra Class, Target exclusive. That's a key thing here, is that it's a very desirable mold to begin with, very popular Beast Wars mold, combined with the fact it's a black repaint, so it always has its own little niche market of people who love black repaints. It's a Target exclusive, which made it limited to only specific regions, and of course the secondary market of how many each Target would have to begin with. It's just this giant combination of things. It's a matrix wielder. It's a very, very interesting thing. So right now, the estimated like numbers of the sales that have been going on and its price movement is 3 times that of the $29.99. I'm seeing like $100, $120 for loose complete ones. And I want to reiterate, all the prices we talk about here today are either loose complete or mint in box. I usually cover both. I don't count damaged, loose incomplete, or, you know, some weird situation where you found it really cheap from a guy on the boards who just didn't know any better. I'm talking open market, the feeding frenzy, the conventions, that kind of situation, and where most of us find our Transformers. So, our complete Transformers anyhow. So we have like this original $29.99, now it's going for like $100 and $120 loose, which is like easily 3 times up the value, if not more. And then the boxed value of these are crazy. They're going up to like $230, $240, $250, 6 times, if not 7 times the value if you kept it mint in box. What's fascinating though is this release got a Japanese edition release. Japanese editions were like in that early Armada era between 2001 and 2006. A lot of American product were brought to Japan. Packaging wasn't changed at all, and they just have like a sticker slapped on the front that said USA edition. And there's quite a few of these. And so Justco, which is a kind of like a Target kind of store in Japan, they had this as a Justco exclusive, and there's tons of those mint in box coming from the Japanese market. So it's the exact same figure, just has a sticker in the front. So chances are, if you're trying to buy one of these and it's mint in box, it's probably from the Japanese seller. And the Japanese sellers right now, they're just asking way too much. Like Japanese sellers, mint in box sealed, you're talking like $300, $400, which is crazy. But average price about $230 mint in box if you want to get it complete sealed. So still pretty nuts though. Again, 6 times the value. Anyone who sat on that one definitely made their money and then some. Let's jump into a much more common figure. A Wave 1 common 2003 figure that recently has jumped in value like crazy, and it's probably related to a lot of the recent situations that have been going on in Transformers lore. So Wave 1, Transformers Universe, Beast Wars Optimus Primal, the 2003 release. This is the Ultra Class Optimus Primal toy from Beast Wars, but done in the browns and the greens and the yellow. I call it the Rasta colors. Rasta Primal, as me and Jaws D would refer to it as. And this was an MSRP, same thing. It was a launch figure for the Universe line. Plentiful. There was tons of those out there because it was a Wave 1 launch figure. $29.99 MSRP Ultra Class. Loose complete today easily 45 bucks. So you kind of double your value. But boxed ones, man, they go like 3 times the value at like, you know, $98 to $100 to $110 I'm seeing here. So I think the demand for this one, despite the fact that it's extremely plentiful, this figure, and very common, is just because Kingdom is kind of bringing interest in Beast Wars, and people just want to get those wacky repaints of this character. You know, we haven't gotten like the Universe 2.0, excuse me, Universe 1.0 Rasta Primal repaint from Masterpiece. You know, the Masterpiece gave us show colors, anime colors, you know, Burning Convoy colors. We just never got these colors. And I think that because we never got a Masterpiece of these colors, certain collectors that want to have different iterations of a character, they pretty much have to settle for what there is. It's kind of the same way how, you know, the value of Headmaster toys were very high for the longest time until we actually got some official Titan Masters and, you know, modernized Headmaster toys of those characters like Chrome Dome and Hardhead and stuff like that. So kind of fills the void until then, so people are buying. You know, this one I don't think is going to hold in the long term. I think it's just for the time being. People want this version of that character, and this is all they have a choice of right now. You know, even though there's so many different Optimus Primal molds out there, whether it be the Robot Master, the original, the Masterpiece, you know, and then all the little retools in between that, and not even to mention the Cybertron mold too. None of them ever sported these colors outside of that original Universe one. So very interesting. And the last one is the biggest price movement, and it's just because of just how crazy it was and the limitedness of it. But there might be a good ending to this story ultimately in the end. Transformers Energon Wing Saber. Man, oh man. Big numbers here. Again, Mega Class, $21.99 MSRP, 2004 Energon. The problem was it was late in the line. So already those red box Energon toys late in the line, not a lot of them are out there. Energon didn't sell very well, especially late in the line. So you know, a lot of those red box figures are pretty tough to get in the secondary market. Loose complete Energon Wing Saber from a $21.99 MSRP, now $124 to $170. Ridiculous. 5 to 6 times the original value loose. That's crazy. And what's even more crazy, there is no examples in the past 6 months of mint in box American releases, because all you have is guys sitting on the boxed versions, and they're all asking $400 to $500, which is ridiculous. So it's just because of how difficult it is to get this figure mint in box complete. Like, there's just not many of them out there mint in box sealed from that timeline of Transformers. There's just not a lot. I have one loose complete, and his box is kicking around somewhere. But I was lucky to get it because I was a completist back in the day, and I went to Toys R Us practically every single day. But again, there is a good news to this story in 2 different ways. Number one, the Japanese version, there's quite a few of them still kicking around mint in box. Not a huge demand for it, but the sad thing is you're still going to pay about almost 8 times the original MSRP. Japanese version, about $180 mint in box, so you're guaranteed complete, no damage, anything, not loose. And I guess, you know, Japanese version's slightly better too. It has little paint details here and there that are slightly better than the American version. So if you do have to get this figure and you want to get him complete 100%, you might even find yourself better off getting a Japanese version mint in box than even a loose complete American one. It might be you might have to pay like, you know, $10 to $20 to $30 more, but you're guaranteed for it to be complete, not to be damaged, not have to know paint damage on it, and it's the slightly better paint deco of the two. As for, like, you know, speculators and collectors that want to just have a mint in box complete American one, man, right now I can't even tell you a number because it's pretty crazy. It's in that $400 range, that's way too much for a $21.99 MSRP toy from 15 years ago. I understand he was late in wave. I understand he combines with Energon Optimus Prime, and that's, you know, that's crucial to getting that Wing Optimus Prime kind of gimmick, or Wing Convoy from Superlink. I get that's kind of a big hook, and why, you know, he has a huge value too, because you kind of need him to do that. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, that's way too much. Considering like some of his bigger compatriots, like a Mint in Box Omega Sentinel red box, you know, goes for like 200. That's crazy. That's crazy. Maybe even like the third-party guys might get on this too, and we might get a third-party version, because we know that one of the companies is going to be making a third-party Energon Optimus Prime, so I'm pretty sure a Wing Saber will be coming, and maybe that'll alleviate the value of these ones. But the Mint in Box collectors, man, that's way too much. And those are three that I just wanted to cover. Like, those were three that really caught my eye in the past couple of days, and then like I really wanted to bring it up because in November it just got nuts. It just got nuts. And I know that a lot of the patrons and a lot of people, they really like these financial videos because it's stuff we bought and then it's stuff we forgot about and it's just sitting in our collection. And if your Wing Saber that's just sitting in your collection, you don't want it anymore, and you can make $125 and then take that money and turn around and buy yourself a nice Masterpiece toy, that's the whole point of these videos, is try to move your money in one place and put it into something better in the other. But yeah, pretty awesome otherwise. Like, again, kind of good news for some people, especially in the case of the Primal. That's nuts for something that's super common, super common. But that's all. That's it, more or less. So hope you guys learned something.